Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Chapter 31 Competition Between Principals. 7th place. Undead Summoner Ji Yao, Level 10. The name popped up on the leaderboard. The teachers of Xuanjing No. 1 Middle School were shocked when they saw this name, and then they were pleasantly surprised. Surprise, extra surprise. This female student is an undead summoner, and her talent is only 7 stars. She is not outstanding this year, but she managed to rank 7th. Great, it really gave us a chance. This girl must have worked very hard to kill monsters in order to reach level 10. Everyone has already started imagining how hard Ji Yao has worked. However, they didn't know at all that it was Su Ming who killed the hidden boss and made her directly jump from level 7 to level 10. A teacher from the finance department raised his glasses and announced boldly, "This year's third-class scholarship, give her a place." Several professors also concentrated their attention, staring at the screen. The principal of Wuyang No. 3 Middle School at the side sneered secretly when he saw this scene. "Oh, a 7th place, so happy. Xuanjing No. 1 Middle School has really fallen." Xie Shulong shook his head slowly, jokingly said. His sarcastic words aroused hatred. Several principals stared at him with cold eyes, fists clenched. People want to say something to refute, but there is no way. This year, there was a Li Chengguang in Wuyang City, so Xie Shulong continued to be arrogant and suppressed other schools. The mouth is almost turned up to the sky. This has caused a lot of dissatisfaction. The principals of several schools have long criticized him. What the hell? No student can beat Li Chengguang. In the world of adults, speaking is about strength. No student under his command can defeat Li Chengguang, and everyone can only watch him be arrogant. 6th place. Sand Controller Weisha, Level 11. 5th place. Demon Hunter Yan Zi, Level 12. Seeing this ranking, several teachers in the office of Xuanjing No. 1 Middle School all looked overjoyed. Okay, my No. 1 Middle School, 2 students entered the top 10, that's great. Yan Zi is 5th, great. The teachers couldn't be happier. When Wang Tingshan saw this scene, his expression was ugly. This means that their qualifications for the Tianta meeting next year are gone. Yan Zi was almost his only hope. This student has a full 9-star talent, and he is a hidden professional demon hunter. From occupation to talent, they are all one-on-one. Unexpectedly, but failed to enter the top 3. It's over, it's over. Wang Tingshan's eyes became a little ugly. At this time, Xie Shulong seized the opportunity precisely and began to sneer. Hehe, Principal Wang, it seems that the situation is not optimistic. He looked at Wang Tingshan from the screen and joked. The words were full of provocation. The conclusion can already be drawn, one of you. No, your entire Xuanjing city will have no future. Next year, your qualifications for the Tianta Association in Xuanjing City and the government's allocation will all be given to Wuyang City. We have doubled the resources. Thank you, our Wuyang City will become stronger and stronger. He laughed happily. With more resources, stronger students can be produced. It will also be able to maintain its position. As the saying goes, the drought dies, and the flood dies. This is the truth. When Wang Tingshan heard what he said, his face turned pale with anger. But it couldn't happen either. The principals of the major schools in other cities were also extremely upset and couldn't stand it anymore. But no one could speak for him. There is no way, the students under him are not talented, and the principal doesn't have the confidence to stand out. The list then flashes. 4th place. Zhang Tang, a fierce warrior with a magic hammer, Level 12. Close black lens bracket. At this time, the new players on the dungeon settlement page were all shocked. Zhang Tang, isn't it one of the 3 major families of the Dragon Kingdom, the young master of the Zhang family? You guessed it right, it should be him. That's right, he was originally an 8-star talent. For a moment, the audience was shocked. In the conference room, Wang Tingshan's face turned cold when he saw the name. This was the last heavy blow to Wang Tingshan's heart. Zhang Tang, the eldest son of the Zhang family, young master Zhang. Even if Wang Tingshan is respected as the principal, when he sees Zhang Tang, he still has to address Zhang Xiao with a smile. It can be seen that the strength of his family is terrifying. With the financial resources of his Zhang family, it is enough to give him the top equipment. After all, the Zhang family has so many resources. It is even possible that when Zhang Tang entered the dungeon, he had a complete set of gold level equipment. Gold equipment is the strongest equipment that newcomers can wear under the level limit. That's not how gods block and kill gods, and Buddhas block and kill Buddhas. With the background of the Zhang family, it is normal for Zhang Tang to rank higher than Yan Zi. However, Zhang Tang only ranked 4th. This is undoubtedly the last straw that crushes the principal's hope. Zhang Tang also failed to enter the top 3. Well, in Xuanjing number 1 middle school, the names of the most talented students have already appeared. Wang Tingshan's heart was bleeding, and he was completely desperate. As for Su Ming, his name has never appeared on the list. For this student, he has given up any hope. Xie Shulong on the side was already overjoyed. Then, the leaderboard list flashes. 3rd place, Soul Healer Zhang Yunqing, level 13. Haha, the 3rd place is my genius from Wuyang number 3 high school, Zhang Yunqing. This girl is the second lady of the Zhong'an consortium, needless to say about her talent. This gave Xie Shulong the capital to be arrogant. Hey, it looks like this year's top 3 are going to be taken over by Wuyang City. He beamed with joy. Wang Tingshan gritted his teeth, his fists were shaking. Then, the 2nd place was announced. When everyone saw the name, their eyes trembled. 2nd place, Li Shengguang, level 14. The moment this list appeared, there was a lot of commotion on the World Channel. Li Chengguang, that swordsman from Wuyang City. What's the situation? Why is he in 2nd place? No way, with the hidden saber maniac profession and 10-star talent, why is he only ranked 2nd? I remember watching it just now, he was still number 1, why did he pull his hips in an instant? Damn it, don't just look at the rankings. Although he's only ranked 2nd, he's already at level 13, which is simply terrifying. The mission of the first turn is completed. It's too fierce. I'm only level 5. That's the talent gap. However, he's already level 14, and he's only ranked 2nd, so what kind of monster is number 1? People's discussions are endless. In the conference room, all the principals and teachers were stunned for a moment. Especially Xie Shulong. His expression was beyond shock. How come it is the 2nd place? He had high hopes for Li Chengguang, and Li Chengguang even got resources from various parties, so he directly entered the dungeon with a gold-level weapon. How could he only be in 2nd place? In any case, he couldn't figure it out. Seeing that Li Chengguang was the 2nd place, the teachers and principals of many other colleges and universities also started discussions. Chapter 32. Hiss. Could it be that there are still hidden masters this year? No way. Is there any student with a higher talent than Li Chengguang? Several principals couldn't believe it. Xie Shulong looked ugly. At this time, some people even started to mock him. Tisk, Principal Xie, it seems that your Wuyang number 3 middle school won't be able to take the top 3 spots this year. The principal of Nanmian City Warrior Vocational College mocked. His words stung Xie Shulong's heart like needles. His face was livid, and he looked at the list with disbelief. He wanted to see who was number 1. Li Chengguang, the sword madman who can actually overpower him, is his most proud student. Then the next ranking came up. 1st place, Sword Master. Open black lens bracket Su Ming, level 16. Close black lens bracket, Sword Master Su Ming, ranked 1st. The moment they saw this name, shock was like thunder, exploding in everyone's mind. The audience was silent. Only on the World Channel, the players of this instance are discussing it like crazy. Idiot, how can it be? Sword Master, the weakest sword master in the early stage, is only a little stronger than the life profession. Su Hei, oh no, Su Ming. He actually got 1st place. He cheated. Rematch. This guy is not a high-ranking official, and he doesn't have the family background to buy him magical clothing. He is not good at his own profession, how on earth did he get the 1st place? Don't you know, he is a 10-star talented swordsman, just like the sword-mad Li Chengguang. Can you please stop joking? Can a 10-star talent sword master and a 10-star talent swordsman be the same concept? The sword maniac killed the sword master randomly, but the sword maniac took 2nd place and the sword master came 1st. If you tell me, others won't believe it. But the supreme rules of the dungeon world will not lie to others. This is true. It's so unbelievable. In the conference room, all the principals, teachers, and professors were stunned for a long time. Everyone's expressions were extremely shocked. Especially Xie Shulong. He seemed to be a completely different person, with disbelief in his eyes. All the previous arrogance disappeared. Wang Tingshan stared at the ranking screen in front of him. The shock in his eyes was even worse than that of Xie Shulong. He knows the situation of the student Su Ming best. Although he has a 10-star talent, his profession is too weak, so no big forces are willing to equip him and invest in him. Only he, the principal, gave him a piece of silver quality equipment. In this case, Su Ming was able to become the first. What kind of opportunities and strength does this require? Wang Tingshan looked at this scene and didn't come back to his senses for a long time. After a long time, he woke up from the shock. His fists were bleeding, and he was extremely excited. Good, good, good. He clapped his hands and laughed. When he looked at the rankings, his mood was like a roller coaster. Originally, he thought that if there were no top 3 students in Xuanjing No. 1 middle school this year, there would be no future. I didn't expect that. In the end, it was Su Ming who gave him a big surprise. Not only did he enter the top 3, but he also ranked first. He accomplished what neither Yan Zi nor Zhang Tang could do. Xuanjing No. 1 middle school has a history of 50 years since its establishment. And there is no student who has ever ranked first in the novice dungeon. The novice copy is like the college entrance examination, the competition is extremely fierce. Xuanjing City is originally a small city, and the teaching resources here are also very average, so it is naturally difficult to find geniuses. And Su Ming, done. He successfully led Xuanjing No. 1 middle school in the entire Xuanjing City to have a future. Next year, not only will the quota for the Tianta Club be maintained, but there will even be more. Next year, 12 Tianta Hui tokens may be issued and distributed to the next class of students. And these are what Su Ming, as a senior, won for his juniors. It can be said that he is a well-deserved hero of Xuanjing No. 1 middle school, and even all the students, principals, and leaders of Xuanjing City. In the conference room, all the teachers also cheered. On the other hand, Principal Xie Shulong of Wuyang City. At this moment, he seemed to be a few years old, and his face was pale. He couldn't believe it at all. No. Impossible. He murmured. The students of Xuanjing No. 1 middle school actually won the first place. Li Chengguang failed to get the first place, so next year, part of the teaching resources of all universities in Wuyang City will be transferred to Xuanjing City. Every year, the total amount of qualifications for the Tianta Club is fixed and will not disappear or increase. Which city has stronger students will have more qualifications next year. Wuyang City's performance this year is not bad, and it will definitely be eligible for the Tianta Club next year, so it won't fail. However, a large number of teaching resources that originally belonged to Wuyang City will be transferred to Xuanjing City. At that time, he will definitely be held accountable by the mayor and many big figures in the bureau. It can be said that Xuanjing City has won a complete victory. His heart was about to break at this moment. At this time, Wang Tingshan smiled slightly. He looked at Xie Shulong calmly. Principal Xie, how did your genius sword madness be surpassed by my students? Wang Tingshan strolled in the courtyard, made a pot of tea, and said with a smile. Sarcasm degree, directly fill up. Several teachers also echoed. Principal Xie, you Wuyang City don't seem to be doing well either. I don't know if you can repeat it again, the arrogant look just now. The principals of the other cities also smiled happily. Principal Xie, why don't you contact that sword-crazed student and give a speech for the second place? We are all very happy to participate. Tisk tisk, thank you Principal, what about your arrogance just now? We're not used to being so silent all of a sudden. Everyone said with a smile. At this time, Xie Shulong wished he could find a crack in the ground and sneak in. Still the same sentence, the world of adults, let the facts speak. His student failed to take the first place and was overtaken by Zan Jingxi. Then what he said is sophistry. Now he is disgraced and can only remain silent. He gritted his teeth and turned off the screen. Disappeared in the field directly. He simply ran away. It's boring, I ran away in despair. Wuyang City doesn't have much to lose. After all, they are also a big city with a long history and a lot of talents. Even if we only get the second place this year, there will be no shortage of teaching resources next year. It's just that part of it will be poured into Xuanjing City. This is a normal flow of funds. The teachers chatted. He just felt so ashamed. How arrogant he was just now is how embarrassing he is now. All the oppressive atmosphere disappeared. It is all thanks to Wang Tingshan, who vented his anger on all the principals of all the cities and colleges. This year, Wuyang City showed its sharpness, overwhelming all colleges and universities. Fortunately, at this time, the child from Xuanjing No. 1 middle school took the first place, which frustrated his spirit. School Wang, what is the background of your sword master student? Yeah, a little strong, we haven't heard you mention him. Wang Tingshan just showed a meaningful smile. Haha, you don't have to ask, principals, I won't say anything. Actually, this student surprised me too, he said. His rhetoric is obviously not convincing to everyone. Everyone smiled slightly, thinking that Wang Tingshan had expected it a long time ago. It was intentionally hidden. Tisk tisk, Principal Wang, you actually hide your gifted students. You rarely mention this student. I will exchange 4 7-star gifted students with you, and transfer Su Ming's student status to me. A group of principals said. Wang Tingshan just smiled lightly, blew on the teacup, took a sip, and remained silent. Hidden merit and fame. The meeting room was very lively. At this time, Su Ming, who was on the copy settlement page, looked at the panel in front of him. Open black lens bracket number 1. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket award. Close black lens bracket. Opportunity to purchase low-level items at a discount in Wanzhou Store X1. Customized title card X1. Wanzhou coin X 30,000. Random bloodline blessing X1. The next moment, a brilliant light was injected into Su Ming's body. His eyes kept changing. Bloodline. This is a powerful and rare power. I didn't expect that the reward would be a random gift of bloodline power. I wonder what it would be. I saw the characters in my mind constantly moving. Newborn vampire E-level bloodline. Wound cell remodeling A. Orphan of the Long family S. Tulingen monk E. Open black lens bracket zombie body F. Close black lens bracket. Human holy body S. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. It's simply dizzying. In the end, the bloodline stopped at a dark blue character, which was completed randomly. Blood of the Lobster Man C. An evolutionary branch of human bloodline eons ago, now Blue Star has long been extinct. Your blood has the gene expression of the immortal creature, lobster, which allows you to shed your skin every 10 years to restore your youthful body, but the lifespan limit is still the same as that of ordinary people. Close black lens bracket. When Su Ming saw this, his eyes suddenly narrowed slightly. This bloodline is really hard to accept. Once the lobsterman bloodline is bound, will he look like a lobster? This is what worries him the most. The effect is pretty good. It is equivalent to not aging. This effect is so powerful that it can shed its skin every 10 years and restore the youthfulness of the body. Su Ming directly used the sublimation of all things to upgrade this bloodline. As long as it is a copy of the reward, it can be sublimated. Sublimation successful. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Eternal age A. Close black lens bracket. There is thin emperor blood flowing in your blood, which makes you never age, and your lifespan is slightly longer than that of ordinary career changers. Close black lens bracket. At the end of your life, you will still die young. Close black lens bracket. Su Ming was overjoyed. Fortunately, after sublimation, it is no longer a lobster, so there is no need to shed its shell. The next moment, a majestic hot power poured into his body. It lasted for a moment before dissipating. Su Ming clenched his fist and didn't feel any difference. There is no slight improvement in attributes. I have immortality, but I am not yet immortal. He murmured. This bloodline is basically not helpful in combat, so it is only A level. But he was content. After a few decades, everyone will grow old, and even the most powerful professionals will become weak. And I will always stand tall. It's a pity that the lifespan is still the same as that of ordinary people. In other words, Su Ming will still die when her lifespan is reached. After receiving the settlement rewards, there were 30,000 more Wanzhou coins in Su Ming's personal space. And a card. Customized title card. You can give yourself a false title to show off to others. This kind of title card is very, very expensive and can be sold for a sky-high price of 1 million advent coins in the market. Su Ming used to be short of money, but now he is no longer short of money. So he chose to use it for himself. Su Ming took a simple name. The God of Death. In his previous life, he was the God of Killing. In this life, the God of Killing is his title. After this title is equipped, it will not affect the effectiveness of Su Ming's other title attributes. From now on, all of Su Ming's actions in the dungeon will be replaced by this title. In this way, his actions can be hidden, and his real name will not be displayed even when the instance is settled. In this way, you don't have to show your sharpness, and you can protect yourself. Su Ming likes to keep a low profile. He looked at his profile. Open black lens bracket Su Ming close black lens bracket. Carried title. God of Death titles in effect. First Blood, Newcomer King. Level 16, 2455, 8000 experience. Occupation. Sword God Mythical level, unique in the world. Open black lens bracket Power, 50 close black lens bracket. Physique, 60. Open black lens bracket Agility, 130 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Spirit, 90 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Lucky, 50 close black lens bracket. Bloodline. Immortality A. Talent. Sublimation of all things, original sword body, automatic cultivation. Skills. God killing sword, full hide, hidden step, eye of insight. Running sword Ju, flashing the sword, master of sword and martial arts, continuous rainstorm sword, imperial sword, skyfall sword tomb. Su Ming has already allocated attribute points, plus the title of First Blood, plus the attribute bonus of the title of Rookie King. Now his attributes are already very terrifying. In all aspects, there are basically no shortcomings. The number of skills is also far more than that of job changers of the same level. The agility attribute reached a full 120 points. The faster you are agile, the faster you go. Then swordsmanship skills that require speed attributes are even more powerful. Therefore, Su Ming is now invincible at the same level. The settlement of the dungeon is completely completed. Su Ming left from this empty space. He appeared in his bedroom. Phew, I finally finished the dungeon. I'm really tired. Su Ming sighed and stretched. Suddenly, two voices came from my mind. Skills. Draw the sword and flash, and the proficiency of the Thunderbolt sword art is full. Skill upgrade. Close black lens bracket. Draw the sword and slash instantly, silver top grade. Put the sword back into its sheath, and then perform a berserk dashing attack, which is extremely penetrating. Close black lens bracket. The Benlay sword art has also been upgraded to silver top rank. Thunder entangling sword art, silver top grade. You can wrap the thunder around your blade, even if the blade is not in your hand, you can activate it. Close black lens bracket. Su Ming thinks that the improvement of the skill of drawing the sword an instant slash is just a small wave of improvement. And the sword entangling thunder art is the real qualitative change. It was able to stimulate the thunder from the air, and it was wrapped around the blade. This means that when Su Ming uses Yujianshu, he can attach thunder damage to the sword remotely. It's a bit fierce. Su Ming was secretly happy. His current strength is already terrifying. It won't be long before the second turn. With the automatic cultivation talent, you can increase your proficiency even while lying down, and your skills will continue to be upgraded. He opened his personal space and looked at the huge amount of loot in it. It's all from the dungeons. Cut iron claw bone, wolf king heart. These two are forging materials that exploded from the silverback wolf king, which can be used to create and strengthen weapons or other equipment. Open black lens bracket mutated Olm meat X18 close black lens bracket. The meat has an excellent taste and fetches a high price. Plus there's plenty of material. For example, the shell of the mutated black turtle, the claws of a carnivorous ape, the eyeballs of monsters. There are also many bronze-level equipment that Su Ming can't use. There are wolf bone bows, wolf bone shields, lighting necklaces, etc. Su Ming is ready to throw them away. Too much. They can all be listed on the auction house. Su Ming took an inventory of his supplies, and then listed them all on the auction house. Chapter 33. Su Ming made a rough calculation and found that when he sells all these things, he should be able to earn about 150,000 advent coins. It can be said that there will be no shortage of money in a short period of time. In Dragon Kingdom, you can buy a house in a good location with 500,000 Advent coins. It can be imagined that the purchasing power of 150,000 Advent coins is also very high. If it is an ordinary laborer, this amount of money is enough to give him freedom, no longer being exploited, and he can live for decades without any problem. And if you are an ordinary job changer, this much money is enough to buy several sets of powerful equipment. Su Ming looked at her personal information column. By killing the boss, I was assigned 10,000 points of 10,000 race coins. Then he ranked first and received another 30,000 Wanzu coins. Now, he has a total of 40,000. This is a very precious universal currency that can buy anything you want in the store of all worlds. Su Ming opened the Wanji store. His gaze swept through it. The dazzling list dazzled him. Equipment, weapons, mythical beasts, elixirs, bloodline. These are the main categories. There are more detailed categories below. Such as weapons, the following breakdown list includes knives, swords, axes, darts, staffs, etc. There are weapon types for all professionals. From the lowest white quality ordinary weapons to legendary weapons, there are many types. And of course there is the type of thermal weapon, the gun. After Advent, the physical rules of the world changed. Many thermal weapons that humans used have lost their effectiveness. For example, missiles, guns, nuclear weapons, etc., these technologies are completely unusable and have been abandoned long ago. Today's firearms are basically post-modern technology firearms that use some kind of thermal energy crystal to provide kinetic energy. The base material of the gun body and bullets is generally composed of the corpses and skeletal materials of various monsters. Firearms consume a lot of bullets, so most people can't afford them. To make a gun, you also need a blacksmith with the gun-making skill. The vast majority of career changers use cold weapons. Now I have a complete set of platinum equipment. With my current level, it can be said to be more than enough and completely sufficient. Even if I buy diamond level equipment, I may not be able to equip it. Su Ming touched her chin and said slowly. Su Ming is not short of weapons and equipment now, so he does not continue browsing in the weapon list. Instead, he looked at something else. There are so many things in the store. Su Ming took a rough look at it. In the mythical beast column, he found some interesting magical beasts. Living mutated poisonous python eggs, level F. It takes 90 days to hatch mutant poisonous python larva. Close black lens bracket. The mutated poisonous python is a relatively common monster that does not only appear in dungeons. In the forests outside human cities, there will be such mutant pythons entrenched. Although their levels are low, they are not high-level monsters. But it is very lethal, and the venom in the teeth can easily kill you. The most important thing is that this kind of snake has a very powerful ability to evolve. Allow them to devour the corpses of powerful monsters, and they will be able to continuously molt and evolve. It would also be great if you could keep one as a pet. But this snake egg is only the lowest F grade, but its price has reached 510,000 clan points. Su Ming feels that it is not very worthwhile. Moreover, the incubation time is too long. It takes 90 days to hatch the larva. It takes another year or two for the larva to grow up, and then adults can truly possess combat effectiveness. Su Ming obviously doesn't have so much time to waste now. He thought about it for a moment, but gave up buying the snake egg. But there are some other monsters to choose from. Juvenile Flame Slime, a burning red slime, which can activate low-level fire spells and burn enemies. When you are hungry in the dungeon, you can also dig it up and eat it like jelly. It will automatically regenerate and can be used as your portable dry food. Close black lens bracket. Price: 100 million clan coins. Adult mountain swallowing python, a super mutated python with a body length of more than 20 meters. It can easily kill most ordinary monsters below level 5. It is your best choice for protecting yourself in the dungeon. But it's best not to raise it in the city. Close black lens bracket. Price: 6 million Wanzu coins. Ancient Black Bird Egg S. The Black Bird of Destiny descends and gives birth to Shang. Top-notch ancient beasts. Close black lens bracket. Price: 80 million Wanzu coins. Su Ming's scalp felt numb. It's expensive, too damn expensive. I became the first in the novice dungeon, and I only had 40,000 10,000 race coins, so I could only buy some F, E, and D level exotic beasts. He thought about it and let it go. Then, he focused on his bloodline and skills. These two things can really enhance his body. No matter how much money he spends, he won't feel bad. Su Ming looked at it for a while and immediately bought a sword skill. Spiritual blade, silver top grade. Consumption of mental power can condense an illusory sword blade, driven by willpower, suspended in midair and slashing the enemy. Close black lens bracket. With this skill, pair it with a sword. It means that Su Ming can control two swords at the same time and kill enemies in the air. Of course, the sword control skill itself can also control multiple weapons at the same time to kill enemies in the air. However, that consumes too much mental power and is not lasting at all. With this skill, Su Ming's long-range enemy ability will be greatly improved. The most important is, with this skill, I won't leave the murder weapon behind when I kill someone. Su Ming condensed his voice. After the spiritual blade kills an enemy, it can disappear out of thin air. This will leave no trace. Of course, you don't need this method to kill someone in a dungeon. But in Blue Star, with this skill, it will be much more convenient. Later, Su Ming exchanged AC level bloodline in the Extraordinary Bloodline store. Open black lens bracket self-healing factor, see close black lens bracket. Due to a special genetic inheritance, the number of cell divisions in your body can exceed the Hayflick limit. Close black lens bracket. Effect. Your self-healing speed is much faster than ordinary people. After being injured, you can quickly heal yourself at the cost of consuming mental energy. Close black lens bracket. This bloodline can give Su Ming excellent self-healing abilities. Unfortunately, this bloodline is not considered a trophy, so it cannot be sublimated, but Su Ming is satisfied. Su Ming has many attack skills and is very powerful. The evasive movement skills, and the instant invincibility of the hidden god step. He is powerful in all aspects except self-healing. This is his only shortcoming. It's too weak to rely solely on the Black Steel Blood Sword's ability to kill enemies and restore blood. So he chose to exchange for a bloodline to make up for his shortcomings in blood recovery. There are many blood vessels that can enhance the body's healing ability. But they are either too expensive or have negative attributes. For example, vampire blood can return blood after sucking blood and heal itself very quickly. But becoming a vampire means that the thirst for blood will accompany Su Ming for the rest of his life. Not even able to see the sun. It can be said to be full of negative effects. Werewolves are also very capable of self-healing, but at the cost of losing their sanity on a full moon night. So after much thought, Su Ming redeemed this most useful self-healing factor. By consuming mental energy, blood can be restored quickly without side effects. This can save a lot of treatment medicine. The Wanzu coins were also completely consumed, just in time. A normal C-level bloodline requires at least 100,000 10,000 clan coins. But Su Ming won the first place in the dungeon and had the opportunity to buy a low-level bloodline at a discount, so he could buy a C-level bloodline for less than 40,000. Suddenly, a message notification appeared in Su Ming's personal panel. It turned out to be the principal, Wang Tingshan, who sent it. Student Su Ming, I am the principal, please come to my office. I have something to say. Seeing this news, Su Ming smiled. It should be related to the Tianta Club. This is a time-honored tradition. The Tianta Society is an organization with a very long history. Officially established by Dragon Kingdom. Once you join, you are basically a job changer with an established system. You can take on some dungeon missions and hunting missions that ordinary people have no chance to take on, and get a lot of rewards. Of course, the difficulty of this kind of task is usually very high. I got the copy and ranked first, so the school must also benefit from it. Su Ming smiled lightly. He has rich social experience and naturally knows how all interest networks operate. Not only can he obtain the qualifications of the Tianta Club. Even next year, junior students throughout Xuanjing City will be able to receive more teaching resource support. Principal, I've said it before, invest in me and you won't be disappointed. He whispered. Then Su Ming walked out of the dormitory and went to the principal's office. At this moment, another city. Wuyang City. In a luxurious high-rise building. A girl, radiating white light all over her body, returned from the copy. She landed at home and looked at the familiar environment as if she had been reborn. She sighed deeply. Phew, I survived. The novice copy is full of dangers. Even though she was the second lady of the Zhong'an consortium, she almost died at the hands of goblins. Moreover, it will be a tragic death after being humiliated and tortured. So when she thinks about it now, she still feels scared. Fortunately, I met Su Ming, otherwise I would have been dead. At this time, several people pushed the door open and entered. It was her parents and sister. Yunqing. Zhong Lan showed joy and ran over quickly. You made it. I'm extremely worried. She rushed forward and gave her sister a big hug. Zhong Lan is also a job changer and has participated in the battle of the novice copy. She knows how fierce the battle is. If you are not careful, you will die without a burial place. So she has been worried about her sister. Fortunately, Zhang Yunqing survived. Zhang Yunqing nodded. Mom and Dad, I'm back. Then she looked at her parents expectantly. Her mother was very gentle and nodded slightly. Yunqing, your dad and I have heard that you even got the 3rd place in the ranking. Mom will give you some pocket money later. Zhang Yunqing's mother showed a kind smile and said with a smile. Although she is over 40 years old, she still retains her charm. Zhang Yunqing nodded, but her eyes were always staring at her father. She has always been looking forward to her father's recognition of her. Her father is the director of Zhong'an Consortium, Zhang Yongli. He has always adopted an iron fist policy in the business world and has defeated countless hostile companies. He can be said to be a tough guy. Zhang Yunqing has never felt fatherly love from him, only severity. Yunqing, you have finally grown up. But today, Zhang Yongli showed a kind smile for the first time. His temples were slightly white and he slowly stepped forward. Zhang Yunqing's eyes were stunned. She had never seen her father's smile before. An auxiliary healing professional can be promoted to level 13 in the novice copy, which is unprecedented. It's really made my Zhang family's reputation become famous. Very good. As expected of me, Zhang Yongli's daughter. He seemed extremely happy. He stepped forward and patted his daughter on the shoulder. Seeing this scene, Zhang Yunqing was relieved and his eyes were red. Growing up, her father had given her a high-pressure education, and she was rarely praised. In fact, she could tell that after the awakening ceremony, her father was very disappointed when he found out that she had a healing profession. Zhang Yunqing has always been under great pressure. She was always afraid of not being able to get results. As the young lady of Yang's consortium, she has a heavy burden on her. She represents the family's face, so she must move forward. Now, there is finally a result. My father is also proud of his achievements. She also felt that she was finally coming through. Father, actually, the fact that I was able to reach level 13 is not entirely due to my own fault. Zhang Yunqing said. Zhang Yongli just nodded after hearing this. His smile faded slightly, but the fatherly love in his eyes did not diminish. Daughter, of course you don't need to tell me about this, I know it too. You are an auxiliary healing professional. Of course, you cannot kill the monsters by yourself. You must form a team. To be able to bring you to such a high level, that student is probably no ordinary person. Tell me, who took you? I will personally find someone to send him a congratulatory gift. Zhang Yongli said with a smile, the love in his eyes undisguised. He actually also loves Zhang Yunqing, his second daughter. However, he is not superficial. Because he knows that children in this world must feel pressure to be motivated. If he dotes on her too much, Zhang Yunqing, his second daughter, will degenerate and accomplish nothing. So he has put a lot of pressure on her since she was a child. Now that she has finally achieved something, she no longer has to put pressure on herself. From now on, the sky will be high and the sea will be vast, just as the fish leaps, let Zhang Yunqing develop on his own. As a father, I just need to give her the best support behind her back. Zhang Yunqing nodded and said immediately. Dad, that person is a swordsman, his name is Su Ming. As soon as these words came out, Zhang Yongli frowned slightly. Which one ranks number 1? Su Ming defeated Li Shengguang, the strongest 10-star sword mad student in Wuyang City. There was a little shock in his eyes. He really didn't expect that his daughter would form a team with him. What he originally thought was that his daughter would be on a team with Li Chengguang, or some highly talented student in the city. This was really unexpected. Not to mention him, Even his wife and eldest daughter Zhonglan were a little surprised when they heard these words. Yunqing, are you saying that it was the ungrateful Su Ming who brought you in the dungeon? Zhonglan took a step forward, her eyes a little unbelievable. Isn't he very arrogant and refused my deal? She asked doubtfully. Hearing this, Zhang Yunqing was silent for a moment and then spoke. Sister, it's a long story. However, classmate Su Ming is a good person, she said firmly. Zhonglan frowned slightly when he heard this, but didn't say anything. She has a very bad impression of Su Ming. But since his sister praised him so much, he wouldn't say anything more. She actually didn't have much objection to Su Ming. After all, it's normal for young people to be arrogant. Zhang Yongli looked at his daughter with a serious look in his eyes. A swordsman master can surpass the 10-star sword maniac in the dungeon. This Su Ming really makes me curious. He narrowed his eyes slightly and said, Daughter, if you have time, you have to tell me carefully what happened in the copy. He said seriously to Zhang Yunqing. He had a vague feeling that Su Ming was an extremely suitable investment object. He is the director of the Zhong'an Consortium and has been fighting in the business world all his life. Many companies have his investment and shareholding. He knows better than anyone how valuable a powerful talented job changer who has not yet risen is. It's like an undiscovered gold mine. If I can plan ahead and gain his favor, then the Zhong'an Consortium will have a powerful ally in the future. In this way, after his death, the two daughters can also have protection in this world. Zhang Yunqing nodded. By the way, I will ask someone to send a big gift to that Su Ming boy later. After all, I brought my daughter in the dungeon. The gift can't be too light, otherwise it will appear that my daughter has dropped in value. Zhang Yongli waved his hands boldly and said with a smile. At this time, Zhang Yunqing asked weakly, Dad, what are you going to give him? Zhang Yongli was extremely confident and smiled lightly. His temples are slightly white, and he looks confident. A high-grade gold weapon is worth at least hundreds of thousands of advent coins. For a child from a poor family like him, it is definitely heavyweight. He had already inquired about Su Ming's life experience and information in advance. After all, the Zhong'an Consortium has many capable people and rich information channels. It has always been his style to decide what gift to give according to the other party's social status. Get the best results at the lowest cost. Gold-level weapons are indeed very good gifts for ordinary job changers. You know, for the average person, the highest level of loot in the novice dungeon is basically gold. Only monsters like Su Ming, who have sublimated all things, can get a lot of platinum rewards. Zhang Yunqing heard the words, but was silent. She pouted, feeling very upset. At this moment, she thought to herself, Dad, do you know what equipment Su Ming is in the dungeon? A complete set of platinum equipment. It is 10 times worse than your gold gift. If you take this kind of thing, other students Su Ming may even dismiss it. Most importantly, Su Ming gave himself a platinum top-rank skill scroll. This skill scroll alone is worth millions of advent coins. She suddenly felt that her father really underestimated him. So she shook her head slowly and said with a disappointed face. Dad, Su Ming he saved my life. As soon as this statement came out, Zhang Yongli's expression suddenly turned serious, and his smile faded away. I see. In his eyes, the light flickered. Saved my daughter's life. It seems that the gift I gave just now was indeed hasty. The evaluation of Su Ming in his heart has also gone up to a higher level. That's right, Su Ming is a level 16 job changer, so he must have his chance. Sending a gold-level weapon by yourself is indeed a bit of underestimating others. During this period of time, I was too busy, my spirit was too tense, and my judgment was a little bit wrong. Sorry, girl, it's Dad, I've been careless. I will ask someone to reward him later. Don't worry, the value will definitely satisfy you. The moment Su Ming saved Zhang Yunqing's life, the meaning of this gift changed. It's not just a gift. Rather, it represented the importance of Zhang Yunqing's daughter in his father's heart. Therefore, he has decided to spend some money and give a big gift. At this time, there was an old man wearing a suit and looking good outside the door, walking slowly. He knocked lightly on the door. Chairman, there is an important meeting. Zhang Yongli nodded. Yunqing, I have a meeting later, you guys rest at home first. Notify me of something. Then he turned and left, closing the door. Old Lei, why is the meeting so rushed? Zhang Yongli said while walking. His face was a little dignified. The old man's name is Lei Chen, a four-turn professional. He is his personal secretary, bodyguard, and financial steward of the Zhong'an Consortium. He has already informed that if there is no important matter, don't bother me today. But Mr. Lei still interrupted. This shows that the situation is very serious. The detonator's face was serious, and he opened a panel in front of him. Chairman, this matter is of great importance. People from the Zhang family have recently been cracking down on our crystal mining and selling business across the country. They are competing for the market, even resorting to illegal and violent means. Many of our merchants, branch managers, and wholesalers were secretly killed by the Zhang family's killers. During this time, we have suffered heavy losses. As soon as these words came out, Zhang Yongli's expression became serious. The Zhang family is going too far. His eyes were a little cold. Zhong'an Consortium is also one of the largest conglomerates in the Dragon Kingdom. Of course he couldn't bear it. A secret war between a large consortium and a large family is slowly brewing. Chapter 34. Yunqiang, Number 1 Middle School. In the school conference room. Su Ming stepped in slowly. I saw the principal and a group of teachers who have been waiting here for a long time. In addition to him, there are 3 students, Zhang Tang, Ji Yao, and Yan Zi. When several teachers saw Su Ming, they couldn't hold back their smiles. Su Ming, come quickly. Su Ming walked to Ji Yao's side. Zhang Tang looked at Su Ming, a gloomy light flashed in his eyes. He has already guessed who killed the world boss. Who else but Su Ming? From the start of the instance to the end, it only takes a few hours. Even if it is a meat grinder, it is impossible to reach level 16 by killing monsters all the time in the dungeon. Unless Su Ming kills the world boss. Only with this possibility can he reach level 16 and win first place. It was Su Ming who disrupted his plan and made him fail to kill the boss. Take away his original number 1. Zhang Tang clenched his fists tightly, and his heart was filled with gloom. This novice dungeon is very important to him. This is his chance to prove it to his family. Extremely precious. However, it was destroyed by Su Ming. At this moment, his heart was full of jealousy. You must know that although the Zhang family is powerful and unfathomable, it is one of the 3 major families in the Dragon Kingdom. But the Zhang family is not monolithic. It can be said that the forces are intertwined. Although he is the eldest son of Tianlong who is advocated by his family, it does not mean that he will be able to inherit 100% of the Zhang family in the future. With the elders and the board of directors sitting in charge, the Zhang family is not 100% in the hands of his father. So this novice dungeon is very important to him. He needs to show enough potential and strength in order to win over more people in the Zhang family and use them for himself. At this moment, apart from resentment, he also had doubts in his heart. Su Ming is just a swordsman, even with a 10-star talent, his early stage is very weak. How on earth did he kill the hidden boss? This is what Zhang Tang is most puzzled about. Another point is the whereabouts of Ren Xiaoman. Since he sent Ren Xiaoman to find Su Ming, there has been no news. Can't be contacted by any means. He also didn't see Ren Xiaoman's name on the leaderboard for dungeon settlement. Could it be that Ren Xiaoman is dead? Thinking of this, Zhang Tang took a step forward and showed a hypocritical smile at Su Ming. Su Ming, congratulations on taking the first place. I have something to ask you. Have you seen Ren Xiaoman recently? Hearing this, Su Ming looked calm. Never seen it. There are only these 3 words, as plain as water. See Su Ming's reaction. Zhang Tang's eyes were shocked. There was a chill in his eyes. A word came out of his mouth, but he didn't say it in the end. He backed away slowly, no longer negotiating with Su Ming. He stood among the 4 of them, bowing his head slightly. No one saw it. At this moment, his eyes were fixed on the ground, full of gloom. Yes, he saw it. In other words, Su Ming didn't even want to hide it. Su Ming has always been Ren Xiaoman's licking dog, so Zhang Tang sent Ren Xiaoman to approach him and seduce him. However, now that he mentioned Ren Xiaoman's name, Su Ming was completely unmoved, as if he had changed himself. This is so abnormal. Anyone with a discerning eye can imagine what happened. He estimated that Su Ming knew of his and Ren Xiaoman's plan through some means. Su Ming should have known his thoughts, and was already hostile to him. Then there is no need to pretend anymore, and there is no need to negotiate anymore. Zhang Tang clenched his fists, recalling the look in Su Ming's eyes just now. The indifference and ruthlessness shown by Su Ming made Zhang Tang unfamiliar. He even suspected that Su Ming had killed Ren Xiaoman. It's not impossible. Su Ming was originally just a poor boy, but he was able to become the number one in the dungeon. This shows that he is not as harmless as he appears on the surface. Looking at Su Ming's eyes as if everything is under control, it is hard to prevent Zhang Tang from guessing that Su Ming is actually a thoughtful person who has endured for many years. This kind of person is the scariest. The more Zhang Tang thought about it, the deeper the killing intent in his heart. If people like Su Ming are allowed to develop, it will be a big hidden danger for themselves and even the Zhang family. A genius who cannot be used by oneself as an enemy and must be killed. Otherwise, I will definitely be retaliated by Su Ming in the future. In his heart, he made up his mind. I need to find a time to kill Su Ming. There was a sneer at the corner of his mouth, but he wasn't too worried about it. Although Su Ming surprised him for a moment, it was nothing more than that. Genius. What the Zhang family fears the most is geniuses. With the background of a whole family, this guy can be easily killed. Like crushing an ant. Su Ming looked at Zhang Tang from the corner of his eye, with a calm expression on his face. He could probably guess what Zhang Tang was thinking. Su Ming didn't care at all. To be honest, if the situation allowed, at the moment we met just now, Su Ming wanted to use his sword to kill Zhang Tang instantly. But he can't. There are too many witnesses here, including teachers and principals. Most importantly, Su Ming didn't know what quality life-saving equipment Zhang Tang had on him. The Zhang family has a profound background, even more majestic than a behemoth like the Zhong'an Consortium. Zhang Tang must have extremely powerful life-saving equipment. With his current strength, if he makes a rash move, he may not be able to kill him. So Su Ming stabilized. All he wanted was a one-hit kill. If not, look for other opportunities. Su Ming, there is plenty of time. At this time, Wang Tingshan walked in front of everyone. He was smiling and obviously in a good mood. Ji Yao, Zhang Tang, Yan Zi, and Su Ming. You are the pride of number 1 middle school. I called you here today to announce a very important thing. Said Wang Tingshan waved. Several teachers, carrying 4 brocade boxes, came to the crowd. Su Ming opened the box and found a jade white token inside. Among them, there is a pattern of a pagoda with 100 gold patterns. It is the Tiantahui token. This is the token of the Sky Tower Club. There are several places every year. Xuanjing City has a total of 4 places. This year, our number 1 middle school will take over all of them. I'm distributing it to you now. Wang Tingshan said with a smile. Anyone can see that he is in a great mood today. Thank you for your battle in the dungeon, you have officially graduated from today. The Sky Tower will be a heavy responsibility, representing a boundless future. Later, there will be seniors from the Sky Tower Society who will take you to the initiation ceremony. While saying these words, Wang Tingshan looked at Su Ming. It can be said that it was Su Ming who turned the tide and saved Xuanjing number 1 middle school. There is a deep sense of appreciation in his eyes. He can't wait to see where Su Ming will take off in the future. At this time, several young men in modern sophisticated equipment slowly stepped forward from the side. They all have a token of the Tianta Society pinned to their waists. Obviously, they are the seniors sent by the Tianta Society. Several, come with us. As they spoke, several people tapped the token of the Tiantahui with their fingers. Then, they disappeared immediately. Into a different dimension. Ji Yao was a little surprised. I didn't expect this token to be useful for teleportation. Yan Zi also imitated their movements and knocked. In the next instant, he disappeared in place. Zhang Tang and Ji Yao followed suit. Su Ming also tapped lightly. The next moment, everyone entered a strange space. This is a huge city, and the buildings are all antique, just like the ancient architectural system of the Dragon Kingdom. But the sky here is a vast expanse of gold, without sun, moon and stars. The streets were bustling with job changers in black robes and badges around their waists. People are carrying all kinds of weapons and equipment, and they all seem to be in a hurry. In the middle of the distance, there is a huge tower, soaring into the sky. It seems that there are at least hundreds of layers. Here is the headquarters of the Tianta Society, the Tianta Realm. Several seniors who received Su Ming said. Everyone here is a member of the Sky Tower Club. Only when you are not in a fighting state and are in a safe area for humans, can you enter here by tapping the token. You are not allowed to enter during dungeons or battles. This is a space of its own, very stable. The guide introduced. Next, follow me, and I will take you to complete the initiation ceremony. Ji Yao, Su Ming, Zhang Tang, and Yan Zi followed quickly. Along the way, you can also see many other provinces, cities, and schools, the new generation's arrogance. The world is huge and has all kinds of facilities. Auction house, sword casting shop, equipment casting shop. There are too many. Here is a one-stop omnipotent world, everything you want can be obtained here. But the most important function is to receive tasks. The essence of the Sky Tower Club is actually a reward party. Soon, everyone crossed the street and arrived at a luxurious hall. Inside the hall, there are many teams who are accepting tasks. On the wall, there are a variety of reward tasks posted. Su Ming's face was calm, but there was no surprise in his eyes. It can even be said that he is already familiar with this set of procedures. In his previous life, he also joined the Sky Tower Society. Chapter 35. Several seniors who were in charge of escorting brought Su Ming and others to the innermost area. This is a luxurious hall, with several maids standing under a screen. Give these newcomers the task of joining the club. The senior who was responsible for the reception led the 4 people to the front and said. Okay. The woman was pretty and had a professional smile on her face. Then she moved quickly, tapping her fingers. Many taskbars suddenly appeared on the huge screen. Several new hunters, please choose your own mission. Complete any task and you can officially become a member of the Tianta Club. Her smile is charming, but her words are even more charming. Officially join the Tianta Club. These 7 words have supreme magic power. Among the hundreds of millions of people who change jobs every year, there may only be tens of thousands who can join the Tianta Society. Being able to become a member of the Tianta Society means supreme honor. This is every student's dream. The mission levels are from low to high, F, E, D, C, B, A, with the highest being an S-level mission. As newcomers, you must accept a task and complete it before you can officially become a member. Your initial hunting level will be determined by the tasks you complete. Now, pick your mission, the woman said with a smile. Her voice had a faint allure. At this time, the seniors who had been introduced all turned around and said. 4 classmates, we know that you are all very talented and have achieved excellent results in the novice copy. Otherwise, there will be no membership qualifications. But don't be proud, otherwise you will die miserably. Even the lowest level F-level mission must be completed with all your strength. We have been meeting in Tianta for more than a year and have seen too many deaths. We hope you can live for a few more years. A bearded senior said solemnly. Okay, now it's up to you whether the 4 of you want to team up to complete the mission, or go it alone. After completing the mission, just return to the Tianta realm to complete the mission. Our guidance is over, let's meet again when we are destined. Several seniors said calmly, turned and left. For them, it's all just business. After explaining what needed to be explained, they left. For Tianta Hui members, time is very precious. Su Ming looked solemn and looked up at the menu. There are many tasks on it. At this time, the waitress said with a smile. Students, as newcomers, I suggest you take on the lowest F-level mission and complete the assessment. This way you have a higher chance of survival. Of course, if you want to challenge a difficult task, it's not impossible. After completing the D-level mission, you will be rated as a Platinum Hunter. After completing the E-level mission, you will be rated as a Golden Hunter. Even the lowest F-level mission will be a Silver-level Hunter after completion. There is no level of Bronze in the Tianta Club. It's up to you to decide which mission to accept. Su Ming looked at the task list and fell into deep thought. F. Hunting corpse-gnawing squirrels. Kill 3 corpse-gnawing squirrels in the forest outside Xuanjing City. Reward. Bronze low-grade skill scroll X1. E. Hunting the bone bronze stone statues. Kill the 10 bone bronze stone statues that were wreaking havoc outside Xuanjing City. Reward. Bronze high-quality weapon X1. E. Collect corpses. Bring back the corpses of 5 members of the Tianta society who died in the depths of the wilderness, so that they will not be exposed in the wilderness. Reward. Wanzu coin x 1000. D. Hunting the raging flame bear. Kill a mutated white bear wreaking havoc in the village outside the city. Reward. Experience value plus 10,000, Wanzu coin x 3000. These tasks are not a challenge for him. Tianta will reward generously, and you can also get a lot of Wanzu coins and Advent coins. And lots of extra loot. The higher the level of the initially completed task, the higher the level of the hunter, the more privileges. Then one's own start is equivalent to a higher level than others. This is a very big advantage. Once the initial assessment is completed, it will be very slow to upgrade again. So Su Ming decided to directly accept the highest level mission that newcomers can receive. Without hesitation, he stepped forward and said to the woman, "I want to accept the D-level mission in the 3rd row." As soon as Su Ming said this, the waitress obviously stared. D. Crusade against the Python King. Hunt and kill a Python King in the wild forest in Nanli District. Reward. Wanzu coin x 10,000, random platinum skill scroll x1. This task, is this rookie able to complete? That Python King is very terrifying. Many people have tried to conquer it, but they all failed. But she didn't ask any more, and directly helped Su Ming complete the task procedures. Her job is to help people go through the formalities. It is not within the scope of her duty to persuade people not to die. Those who come to the Tianta Club are all talented young job changers, and they all have arrogance. To be honest, she has seen too many people like Su Ming. It can be said to be courting death. No matter how talented you are, you can't challenge D-level missions right after you come out. This is the highest task a newcomer can take on. Once completed, it will be directly rated as a platinum level hunter. This is outrageous. 18 years old, platinum hunter. What a dream. She used to give advice, but now she has turned a blind eye. She couldn't say much about people seeking death. She kept everything in her heart and completed the procedure quickly. Your mission has been accepted, please check it in the personal mission profile panel. She said with a smile on her face. Su Ming nodded. Ji Yao and Yan Zi also looked shocked. Su Ming, you actually accepted such a difficult task. Ji Yao stepped forward and asked in surprise. Even if a few of us form a team, the success rate may not be high. Su Ming, you are too impulsive this time, Yan Zi said with a solemn expression. Su Ming looked calm. You are overthinking. I never thought about forming a team. I will complete this task myself. Yan Zi was a little surprised. He thought that Su Ming would take this task because the team had a high chance of winning. Unexpectedly, Su Ming was ready to challenge alone. No, it's too difficult. I'll go with you, Yan Zi said sincerely. He has sincerely regarded Su Ming as a friend, so he is willing to take risks with Su Ming. Ji Yao also stepped forward and took Su Ming's hand. Su Ming, I want to go with you too. Su Ming shook his head and still insisted on being alone. I will go alone. No one will know the reason for his persistence. This task is actually about taking credit. If he brings everyone with him, Su Ming will lose experience and rewards. So he naturally chose someone. Su Ming has past life experience and he knows a very secret information. This task is actually very simple. That giant snake is indeed very powerful, but it goes dormant in mid-June every year. Ordinary snakes hibernate, but the mutant giant snake hibernates. This is information that basically no one knows except Su Ming. Now, that big snake is about to fall into estivation. Shouldn't it be easy to kill it by yourself? So he insisted on going alone. After this wave is completed, one person will be able to collect the rewards. Ji Yao opened her mouth slightly and wanted to persuade her again. Su Ming stretched out a finger and pressed it on her red lips, making her speechless. Her cheeks suddenly turned red. There is no need to discuss this matter again. There will be many opportunities to form a team in the future. I've made up my mind. Su Ming frowned. Then he said to the two people. Ji Yao, Yan Zi, you two go find Zhang Yunqing to form a team together. Although she is from Wuyong City, she probably also obtained the Tiantahui token. Just as Su Ming was talking, she came. In the distance, I saw a pretty girl running all the way, with a Tiantahui token hanging on her waist. Su Ming, Ji Yao, Yan Zi. Far away, She was smiling and waving. She ran over quickly. I also got the token of the Tianta Club, come to participate in the novice mission. What do you mean? Let's form a team together. She looked at everyone with a smile. Yanzi stepped forward and told her what happened just now. She looked at Su Ming, but she didn't persuade him. Her watery eyes were full of understanding. Su Ming, if you insist on going alone, then go. Surprisingly, she didn't persuade Su Ming. Then she turned to look at Ji Yao and Yanzi. Ji Yao, Yanzi, let's form a team and let Su Ming go alone. We accept an E-rank mission, and it is enough to be rated as a gold rank hunter. She said to the two of them. Because, she is very clear about Su Ming's fighting power. He knows better than Ji Yao and Yanzi. It can be said that she has 100% trust in Su Ming. If Su Ming insists on challenging the impossible task alone, it must be his idea. She didn't want to disrupt Su Ming's plan. This is 100% trust. Ji Yao was finally persuaded. She nodded and said, all right, actually, we also need a real experience. Killing the hidden boss is basically the main force from Su Ming. We all paddled behind, but we have risen to such a high level. We only have levels, but our combat experience and skills are not strong enough. So forming a team will actually hold Su Ming back. The three of us form a team first. Ji Yao agrees. Yanzi could only nod his head. Su Ming smiled slightly and said to her, very good, then I will withdraw first and contact you after completing the assessment. Su Ming said. Then he walked away quickly. At this time, Zhang Tang on the side was also slightly shocked. But then, a sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. He really didn't expect that Su Ming would actually accept a task of this level. Grade D. If there is no one to guide the newcomer, accepting this kind of task is simply courting death. There is no force behind Su Ming. So he thinks that Su Ming is too arrogant. In his opinion, Su Ming completely underestimated the difficulty of the D-level task. The monsters of D-level missions are basically no less difficult than the bosses of E-level or D-level dungeons. Even if Su Ming can win the first place in the F-level novice dungeon, it is impossible to complete this task easily. Su Ming is really a bit flustered. Thinking of this, Zhang Tang even felt a sense of relief. It seems that Su Ming is not a thoughtful genius, is he? Ordinary people who will be proud and arrogant. Maybe it's just luck that he won the first place in the dungeon. Then this kind of opponent is nothing to worry about. Of course, to kill is to kill. Su Ming killed the hidden boss and disrupted Zhang Tang's novice dungeon plan. For this alone, he will kill Su Ming. Thinking of this, Zhang Tang secretly opened the personal panel and sent a message to several confidant bodyguards of the family. Kill someone, Su Ming. He has accepted a D-level mission, and he will go to the Boa Constrictor King's lair in Nanli District, where you will sit and wait. In 10 days, he will pass. Zhang Tang's confidants are all masters of rank 2 or above. It was a breeze for them to kill Su Ming. Yes. Yes, replied there. To be honest, even if no one is ambushed, Su Ming is likely to be swallowed by the Python King, and there is no need to intervene. But just to be on the safe side, Zhang Tang still gave this order. He is a very cautious person. Young Master Zhang, you are here. Suddenly, a voice came from behind. Zhang Tang turned around and looked. Is a middle-aged man. Zhang Fengliu, 3-turn wave step swordsman. An elder of the Zhang family is also one of Zhang Tang's personal guards. Zhang Tang nodded. I want to accept the D-level task and complete the evaluation of the Tianta Club. He said. Hearing this, Zhang Fengliu nodded calmly. Standing with his hands behind his back, he has an extraordinary demeanor, and his combat power is also very powerful. Okay, as long as the task is below sea level, I have the confidence to keep you safe. He smiled slightly and said. A flash of ambition flashed in Zhang Tang's eyes. Su Ming accepts a D-level mission, seeking death. But Zhang Tang accepting D-level missions is justified and normal. Why? Just because he is the young master of the Zhang family, behind him is the Zhang family. The novice dungeon is because there is no way to bring the elders of the family to participate, so Zhang Tang can only rely on his own strength. The novice assessment tasks of the Tianta Club are different. It doesn't matter who you team up with. So Zhang Tang can accept the most difficult task, and then let the family elder lead him to lie down and win. It is safe and can be rated as a platinum level hunter. Why not do it? This is the power of the family. Su Ming walked through the streets of Tianta Realm alone. He walked all the way to a blacksmith shop. Found the boss here. Young man, what weapon do you want to build? A burly man walked out slowly and said. Su Ming took out a jet black longsword and slapped it on the table. How much is it to upgrade this sword to a gold quality weapon? Su Ming said. His black steel blood sword is only of silver quality, which is really not enough. So he chose to come here for a wave of upgrades. The man picked up the Schwansteel blood sword with a serious expression on his face. He flicked the blade with his hand. Clang. The sword chant was crisp. Not bad, the quality is considered to be better among silver weapons. I can upgrade it to a middle-grade gold weapon. 70,000 advent coins are needed. The blacksmith said. Su Ming's face was serious when he heard this. This is almost the same as buying a golden weapon. If I bring my own reinforced fusion substrate, how much cheaper will it be? Su Ming asked. Hearing this, the blacksmith pondered for a moment. Well, it depends on the quality of your substrate. Su Ming smiled lightly upon hearing this. Straight from the personal space, lots of high-quality materials are pulled out. Claw bones of the iron-cut wolf king, armored tortoise shell, tartar of the newt king, yellow teeth of the goblin leader. All are hard substrates, excellent for forging steel. The boss of the forge shop was shocked when he saw so many high-grade materials. Tisk, young man, you are not very old, you should only be 18 years old. Where do you get so many advanced materials? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.